sound's gonna actually work today. Hopefully you can hear this. Waking up. Found out some really crazy stuff last night when I was studying the OpXY. So I think I found out the issue with sync. I think I figured this one out. And hopefully people were on stream yesterday and talking and everything will be here today, because I think I found out what the problem is. Extensive tests, but I'm going to show everybody what I've been finding, and I think it's interesting nonetheless. Okay, so welcome to the stream. Today is about the OpXY, and it's talking about a continuation from yesterday, because I've been having tons of sync issues. I've been talking to other users who are having sync issues as well, so there's a lot of us that are having problems. And the problem is stemming from this. So you see what this is, right? This is a 1/8 inch MIDI connector. It goes to 1/8 inch to MIDI female, and then you take a MIDI male cable and you plug it in, and then you send it to something else. Now, in the OpXY, it's so sensitive that the amount of resistance that this adds to the MIDI cable drops the voltage from the output. And what happens is it makes it not connected either. I think there's voltage drops. I think there's intermittent connection issues, right? Excuse me. And right now, I have everything synced. And I'm going to turn off some stuff, but you're going to hear how everything's synced, right? Not a problem. The other thing I've noticed, when I used to do this thing would flip out. And guess what? It's still, I would say, pretty dead on. Yeah. It doesn't miss now. Do you see this? And what I'm noticing is the jitters happening more rapidly, right? So let's watch an example of a different cable. And the new cable, now this is not a commercial for anybody, but this is a CME MIDI cable directly, I'm going to show you, directly to 1/8 inch. So there's no connector. It's basically on one side, it's 1/8 inch, and one side it's MIDI. So I think this is the fix. This is the good cable. This works well. Watch what happens when I do, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump the camera. That's MIDI out. That's MIDI in, and that's in. And that's it. Yeah, okay. So now I plug it in, and I hit play, and you hear it go off. So moving it like that with the connector, number one, screws it up. And the other thing it does is it makes, there's little bits of drift that are greater than when you use it with one of these. So I've definitely found that this, no. This is definitely the problem. If you're using this style connector with a cable, the OpXY does not like this. It hates it. It's like its sworn enemy. I'm starting to see. It's such a bad idea. And I guess it drops the millivolts and the connection from the MIDI enough that it's intermittent. Where now, if we take this cable, which is from CME, I bought a pack of these on the internet. They were on Amazon. I think the 4-pack was $29 because Teenage Engineering was charging $18 for one, and I thought that was a little bit too much. And the CME one's got really good reviews. And, like, it's crazy because it just works. Like, before, even when I'd use those other adapters, sometimes I would plug this in and it wouldn't work. So already, I think if you go out, I mean, they come in 4-packs. There's 4 of them that you get. These are, I guess, what they consider their right angle MIDI cable is what they consider these. So these are all just MIDI cable 3-foot to right angle, right? So while we're on stream, I'm going to do a test that I haven't done yet. Let's see. And I bet any money that if I pull this thing out, which was actually giving me issues too, and I go, let's see, MIDI system, MIDI clock, sorry, in, we'll do both, in, out, both, notes, I'll do both, other, I'll do both, yeah, and then I'm going to say MIDI out of this guy, and we're going to go in, to actually, let's see, hold on a second. The test would be more out of another Elektron box into the Z. And I bet you I get the same better results where things are actually synced. Ah, there we go. Hey, buddy. Yeah. And it's staying connected. It's not... When I used to pick my OpXY up, it would always come disconnected. Do you see that? So you just saw on stream I fixed pretty much everything. Man, this is cool. I found the fix. My God. That was like literally driving me crazy. I think that was... one of the banes of my existence lately is that I couldn't figure out why this thing wasn't staying in sync. And now I think it's working. Let's do some practice. Let's see what happens, right? All right. So now that I feel way better about that, that's kind of crazy, huh? We actually figured something out together on stream. I'm really happy about that. Whether there's a million people watching me or not. Ouch. Okay, so the next thing we're going to work on is going to be some music theory. And we do this all the time on stream. And so I am going to show you what I was working on today. And I'm just going to clear the sequencer, and we're going to practice recording. And you're going to see that the sequencer actually works now. It's kind of crazy. I'm very impressed. Yep. Okay, so hopefully, yep. I got a beat going here. And we're going to talk about recording some music, right? Now that I got the MIDI fixed. How about that? How do you do that? That's crazy, right? And today what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the way that I write a lot of techno again. And I talk about this on stream a lot, and this is about us getting creative. So today, if you want to get out a piece of paper and get creative with me, you can write this down. And I made a new setup so that my paper can kind of be in front of us. And today we're going to study this idea that in music, how can you make sure there's a little bit of emotional feeling and changes. And we're going to talk about writing small parts on sequencers, okay? And so when I mean that, what I'm talking about is sequencers usually have a bunch of sounds, right? And if we think about our soundscape as drums, which is like kick and snare and hi-hat, that's like 3 elements. And then you think about bass, chords, right? So there's bass, chords, and melody, right? And when we're talking about writing music, this idea that we have to start thinking of tonal centers, and we have to start thinking of how this all kind of unfolds. There's also a little secret thing happening here, which I say is like lead, and then the other word I would say is development. And the idea that development is like how the song develops, like parts, you know, how everything unfolds, right? Because not just there are these sounds, there's also like intro, verse, chorus, solo, and outro. And I'm just using these as generic, very, very hurry up and talk points, okay? So the reason I choose to use Elektron is the word is patterns. I have a bunch of patterns that I can program, and those patterns can kind of unfold as what we would call like an intro, a verse, a chorus, and solo. And now that I got the MIDI fixed inside of my device, the idea that we're going to write these parts and you're going to watch me kind of make this unfold. Oops, sorry, camera. This is going to be a super easy way for you to see the development of, you know, how my music unfolds. Now, I picked a tempo here of 84 beats per minute, so 84 BPM, and I picked a break beat, which is not 4 on the floor. So my kick drum, if I pick the track, should look like, oh, I did do 4 on the floor. So it's like a break house hybrid pattern, because it kind of feels kind of breaked out, right? And what I mean there is there's a tom-tom that I'm playing on track. I think, what track is it? Let's see. 3 is tom-tom. So I make a sub-rhythm. And that's one big important part about my drums. I also use a tom-tom. And then I also have a ride cymbal in there as well. Ride cymbal you would typically hear in the chorus, where in the verse you typically hear hi-hats, okay? And in an intro, you might not hear any drums. It might just be sparse, right? Now, the crazy thing I was writing is just 2 chords. One of them was, well, let me go to my keyboard. It was a beautiful chord, G minor, and I was playing F major. So I was playing in the key of what I would either consider F or B flat. So I'm going to say F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. And the other key that I'm secretly playing superimposed with it, because you'll see as I solo, I actually cheat and I play E flat major as well. Okay? So I actually think of 2 keys. I think of F major, and I think of B flat major. That little triangle in music terms is major. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do like a 2-1 progression. And so in techno, that's just like kind of like easy to do. I start my rhythm. I arm this to record. Now I make sure this is 4 bars long, which is meaning there's 64 steps as it's recording. So 2, 3, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. And I play with the hinge there. And the hinge chord that I use, and let me make sure that's not muted. Yep, sorry. So here it is. And that what I'm doing there makes it sound what I say is more like what you would do in church or something like that, right? And I actually play like a sus4, like a suspended 4th, right? And then I just go back to the major chord. So this is like a 1 sus4, which I just play the 4th note. And that's kind of my little trick that makes this a little bit more interesting than just playing the 1 chord. And then I play the 2 chord for the first bar. So bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4. All right, and this helps me write what I consider a more interesting bass line. So check this out. So it's and the bass line should have the same amount of steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3. And here's our recording. Here we go. So I'm going to record in the minor first. Let's see if that MIDI cable fixed my problem. And it actually sounds like it did. I can't believe it. Yeah, I think the MIDI cable fixed it. Right? All right, so here we go. We got our parts laid out, right? And again, when I go to make my next part, so we're looking at maybe what would my intro sound like, right? So here's maybe like intro idea. And having our ideas with like an intro, something super simple. This could also be your outro, right? And I copy the pattern, right? And I go to a new pattern. And I gotta make sure, yeah, pasted that one, right? Let's say this is the verse, right? The verse might not have the strings, and the verse might actually have different kind of chords, right? It might be, and I'll fix this piano so it sounds a little bit better, but I'm gonna play my minor chord, my major chord, my 4th, and my major chord again. So that's just the easy pattern we're playing here, right? And I'm gonna make it a new keyboard, yeah. Yeah, pretty simple, right? That first chord did not record right, so. And that's what I'm talking about its recording being a little bit off. You know, it's got something to do with the jitter in this clock. So right there. Now we're working more on what would be our verse, right? And then what's gonna end up happening here is just dim that instrument down so it's not so, hopefully not so bright. But it's super easy to write these patterns. And when you're getting ready to mute something out, guess what? Now we got 2 things muted. Guess what? Here's our solo now. And again, make sure these are 4 bar long. Get ready to record. I'm going to reset that clock, and here we go. There we go. So that's kind of like going to be our solo, right? So writing another part's really that easy. And now I'm going to pause for a second. So in the OpXY, we also have the ability to make other scenes, just like in Ableton. So I could actually make these as scenes so we can jump to them very easy. And in this world, all I'm doing is I'm making them patterns, okay? So it's just like I got 2 drum patterns. One is muted, one has more stuff. The third one you're going to see is going to become what? The one that is the chorus. So I'm going to just add that ride cymbal back now. Right? And so the chorus is more busy, right? You know, and I also can open up that ride cymbal because I kept it kind of closed. Here, right there. So, you know, that's going to be the difference between your verse and your chorus. So as long as you're working with hi-hats in your verse and you typically go to the ride cymbal in the chorus, you're going to have a lot more success of people hearing that you're in that part. Me playing that solo instrument, I actually secretly have another track here and another track here, 6 and 8 that I have not recorded on that we could do a melody because I pretended that was the lead. We've done chords already too, and you're seeing that I've kind of just, the lead was actually played with, I threw an E flat in there to make it sound a little bit different, right? And that's me telling you when I play a solo over top of something, I'm actually playing in a different key over top of F. That's just a habit of mine that I've learned that I like. An old bandmate of mine and me used to like kind of jam out and do this trick where we would play like a key away from each other. So that just tends to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, you're seeing some ideas here on the stream. I talked about how I fixed some of the MIDI issues with the connections between the XY and the Digitac. So I've had a lot of success over the last 12 hours with some new cables and getting things connected. So I'm sharing more information. I'm trying to get in contact with more people. But, hey, if anybody needs help, reach out and let me know. Have a great Friday. It is Friday, January, is it 25th, I believe? And it's still cold outside, so I'm still kind of freezing. I hope everybody's doing okay and staying warm. And if you like what you're seeing on the channel, or you're learning anything about writing music, come on back and check out some more videos. Subscribe to the channel. But, hey, yeah, always working on music, always working on music theory and teaching what I'm working on. Always trying to show helpful hints on how to fix gear if you're having issues. So today the tip is if you're using 1/8 inch MIDI, actually go out and buy cables that are 1/8 inch to the MIDI plug, not like an adapter, because I think the OpXY and the OpZ do not like adapters. I think they drop the signal sometimes. So I'm going to keep doing testing. I'm going to start doing some more recording. Hopefully everybody's having a great day, and I'll talk to everyone soon. So, yeah, take care.